Okay, so sorry guys, I'm just keep on rotating my phone because it tells me to keep on rotating my phone, and I don't know if you can see me or if you can be with me. Okay, Martinka is with me. Sorry about the roller coaster. I'm joining you, Machi, on the camera. Hello everyone who is watching us or who is joining us. Hi Matka. And hello everyone who is, oh my god, I have to keep it this way. My god, what is going on? I don't want to make a drama out of it, but Machi,
No,
can we broadcast this way, or do I have to go landscape? Because when I go landscape, it just tells me to rotate my phone.
Yeah, it told me to rotate as well. Just leave it like that, it's fine.
Is this okay, guys? Can you see us?
Yeah.
Okay? Hear us?
It's fine.
That's what is important. So anyway, hello everyone. Hi Matka. I am really happy that you are all joining us. Thank you so much for lovely comments, because we are getting more and more comments from you. Not only comments that thank you for doing what you're doing, which is always nice to hear, but also, you know, comments about how this broadcasting is changing your life on a weekly basis, how you look forward to our streamings, how much how what steps you're taking in your own life to you know, inspired by our broadcasting, which is amazing. You know, it's incredible. And yeah, in general, that it often keeps you going, our energy. So we are very genuinely happy for you guys. Thank you so much for being here with us, because without you this wouldn't make sense for us to do this. And we love what we do, and we love you too. So today, very briefly, I'm going to introduce the subject of what we are talking about today. And with Martina, when we always have a little brief, you know, we talk before this call, about 20 minutes before, and we talk about how we are going to lead this call and what we are going to do. And this subject is very close and very personal to both of us with Martina. And we even said that, you know, if we drop a tear, please excuse us. And feel free to drop a tear with us. However, this is not going to be sad broadcasting. It really is about being honest, sharing, and about empowering all of us who are dealing with something similar. Okay, so today we are talking about how to deal with our elderly parents. And I know that all of us who are on this broadcasting, on this streaming, who are watching this streaming, we all have our story. All our parents are different ages, different backgrounds. We are different backgrounds, different cultures even, as we are doing this in English. And also we have different relationships with our parents. Maybe some of you guys, and I respect it from the bottom of my heart, maybe don't even have a parents anymore. So for those of you, I'm deeply very you know, sorry, and my heart goes out to you. For those of us who still got a parents and they are doing well, that's fantastic. For those of us who still got a parents but we don't have close relationships with, there's also something we are going to talk about. Or those who we have a parents, we do have a good relationship with, but the relationship is getting more and more challenging as they getting older. So we are going to talk about all of that. Again, I'm going to be sending a newsletter with 16 tips about where everything will be written. So send me your email if you want to get this newsletter. It will be sent in a couple of weeks' time. And you can send me an email in a personal message. And for now, let's just briefly introduce ourselves. So Martinka is my very good friend, and she is going to tell us a little bit about herself and why you're doing what you're doing. Maci, do you want to mention it as well? Why we do this?
Yeah. So hi guys, hello from England. My name is Martina Stewart. I've been living in the UK for last 20 years. If you are watching us live, which means you can see a little numbers, and in a red rectangle says live, say hello, say where you are tuning in from. We would love to say hello back to you. If you're going to watch us later on, which is going to be a replay, also do hashtag replay and say hello to us. So how I mentioned, I've been living in the UK for 20 years. I really, really love healthy lifestyle. I'm helping ladies just like you to feel amazing, to feel good in their own skin. I'm helping ladies to learn how to eat and how to be beautiful from inside out. I've been running 2 groups on a Facebook, one which is vegan group. So if you would like to find out more about the vegan lifestyle, about the lovely recipes, please add yourself in. I'm going to leave both links underneath this broadcast. And if you would like to find out the products I've been using for the last 3 years, which really helped me with my skin, because I was just saying, you know me for the last year, don't you?
Yeah, more now.
Yeah. So I've been
Who you
broadcasting.
talking to me or
What's
all of
that?
us?
Yeah. Well, I was saying, yeah, I've been broadcasting for the last year, so people know me now. But the people didn't know me 5 years ago. How my skin looked, how I looked. So in the group, we're discussing really lovely products which I've been using for the last 3 years. So if you'd like to find out, also there is going to be a link underneath this video, and I'm really looking forward to discuss this topic with Lucia, because as Lucia said, we're both going for a quite rough time in the last month, and if it's going to be up and down emotional, then bear with us, and hope we're going to give you so much wisdom and so much help, because I think this personally will help me as well. So thank you very much, and let's crack on.
Let's crack on. So hi guys, very briefly, my name is Lucia Hoxa. I am a yoga teacher and lifestyle coach. I work with women all over the world, supporting them in what is important to them in their life, and that is what is fulfilling to me. I often talk about relationships, and many of you reach out to me to talk about relationships. When I speak about relationships, I talk about relationships with partner, with our parents as well, but as well a relationship, and maybe one of the most important relationships, which is relationship with ourself. So that's a little bit about me. Very briefly, what I want to say, guys, today we feel that this subject is very close to our heart, and it can be very useful for many people who can this broadcasting reach. So we want to help you to share it with us, and with that you are going to do something very useful for someone, because you never know who is going to see this broadcasting, who is going through very similar thing. They don't really have anyone to talk to, and they would love to, and would find it very useful, because we really packed it with a lot of value, or at least I tried to pack it with a lot of value in terms of content for this broadcasting. So share this broadcasting. If you like it, send us a likes, because every single like, every single little heart that you send us, or thumbs up, is going to, thank you, it's going to really share the love. It's not just the love heart, it's actually sharing the love and the wisdom and something useful that we hope we can share with the world, with all the people who we can impact together. It's not just two of us together. So that's as much as, oh, and you will be rewarded, and I want to reward you. So for those of you, unfortunately, the price that I have now, I mean, if you want to be adventurous, you are very welcome to enter this draw anyway. But today we are going to have a prize, and it's going to be draw. In a couple of weeks' time, I will send you details on 7th of June. We are starting a yoga retreat in Slovakia, and we are going to be doing in middle of nowhere. There's only sheep and us, and and we are is really a place where you can find a peace of mind, whatever is happening in your life. Trust me, I can't wait to be there. And we are going to be doing a taster yoga sessions and experiences, transformational experiences. So guys, if you are interested to win the free entry, every single one of you who's sharing our post and is going to send us a little message, like personal message to me or Martina, or send it just to me so I can put you in a draw, you are going to be one of them who can win this prize and the free entry into, not whole yoga retreat of course, because we can't pay for everything for you, but you can have an entry into very, very special day that you can spend with us, which I think is a really good prize. So let's start now talking about what we are here for. Let me just stabilize this camera because I'm a little bit wobbly.
Stabilize the camera and see, so your face is, your whole face is there. While you're doing that, I'm just going to say my story basically. So I had my mom's got ill like 7 years ago. She had a heart attack, and after that, for 7 years, you know, she was at home, stable. Everything was not. It was fine. But in the last, I would say 5 to 6 months, she, you know, the health go down a hill a little bit. And 3 weeks ago, she was taken to hospital, which really, you know, for every child is quite scary. So at the moment she's stable, but is not really, you know. I think it's the worst I ever seen my mum. That's why I had to go home in April, and I have to go home in May. So for me, last 2 to 3 weeks, he was up and down. And I just would love Lucia to explain how to deal with this situation when you can see like your parents just changing. Sorry. Don't cry.
Maćka, I just want to thank you so much for sharing this with all of us. Okay, it's such a brave thing to do, and I know how hard it is for you to share it. So thank you so much on behalf of all of us who are watching, because you are one of many, many, many people who are dealing with something similar. So thank you so much for being this vulnerable. And I'm going to do my very best on this broadcasting to make it easier somehow, some way, and to not only comfort you but give us something useful that we all can use. We are dealing with our parents, okay guys? And I want to, this is so important for Martina and I and many, many people. Please share with us your story. This is a safe place. We are creating it as a safe, supporting, loving place. So please, if you have the story, if you have anything that, you know, positive or helpful to say, you know, let's share it with each other. I really want to create a space of love here where a lot of us are going to feel it. Okay, thank you. So guys, I'm going to go through these 16 stages. Very, very quickly. I will also share what I'm dealing with at the moment. I've got a similar situation as Martina. So my mom, few years ago, in a space of 7 years, everything happened really for my parents. I was a child. How old is your mom, Martinka?
Both of the parents are 74.
74. So we are, I suppose we are children. Our parents, maybe some of you got younger parents. Our parents are a little bit older now. My dad is 76, and my mom is 70. My mom had in the last 7 years she had a stroke that impacted her, and also a heart attack. I actually lost my mom first time. Almost lost my mom first time when I was 3 years old with a skiing accident. Then again when I was 15, when I actually moved away because I thought she's going to die by the end of the year. And then I was almost lost her, and I was there again, present by coincidence, when those 7 years ago, when she had a very hard stroke. My mom is still alive. She's like a cat. Bless her. She's coming on Friday to see me, so she's doing well. But you know, I mean, she's not as she used to be, and it's a very big thing that she's actually coming to see me on Friday. My dad, I moved back after 20 years of being abroad. He's one of the main reasons I moved back to Slovakia, or at least for some time. He's got a progressive stages of Parkinson's disease, and we now live here together. He's actually next door, and that is one of the most heartbreaking things for me. And I can't even tell you how really tough it is to suddenly come home, and every time you come home, seeing your parents shrinking and being not what you used to.
They used to be. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are all used to, or I was used to, my dad was strong, adventurous, humorous. He was a crazy person, very, very good-hearted, big heart, always helped people. So going from there to seeing someone who can, you know, he's tripping over his own slipper just to get to the kitchen, can't write, he used to write, used to be a sportsman, almost got to Olympic Games, and now my dad, yeah, he cannot eat himself, and he can eat very, very slowly with his left hand. And you know, I know what's coming. You know, this is the thing, Machi, that we know what's coming. Unfortunately, like, we would love miracles, and I'm not saying it's not possible. I mean, anything's possible. I always say that. But inevitable future is that one day they will die. We are going to lose them, and also, it's not the prediction is that it's
Yeah.
going to go one direction, and that's very challenging thing to accept. So let's now talk about,
Let's just talk about, so it's, you said in a first, except that things have changed.
yeah, so acceptance is a very, very first step. I've got it in my online yoga program as well. Acceptance, whatever is happening in our life, mostly the challenging thing, acceptance is the very first thing. And acceptance is often misunderstood with resignation. Please don't collapse these two things, okay? Acceptance is coming from space of love, space of peace. It is something that is going to give you the great sense of freedom about how you feel about the situation. Does that make sense, Machi?
Yeah.
The first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about acceptance, about the situation, about your mom in this moment?
So that's, yeah, it's because, as you said, you moved to Slovakia to be there, so now you can see that every single day, and you can actually, because I think when you with someone, it's very hard, but then you can also see where they at. So, for example, when she was taken to hospital, I didn't know what was going on. You know, I was, I have to rely on the news from my parents, and you know, they do tell you something, but you are not actually there. You don't see exactly what's happening. You don't see her, you know. So it was really quite nerve-wracking for me to actually see that full-on picture, you know. And I don't know. I have to go home again in next week, you know, just to soak everything in and be there, present, and see everything.
Yeah, I think it's very good that you're going. And you know, sometimes I'm thinking, because I've been abroad for so long, sometimes I'm thinking, what is easy, whether it's easier to be abroad and not to see it every single day, or is easier to be there, to be able to do as much as you can. It's hard to tell, really.
Yeah.
Both has advantages and disadvantages. I think in the long run, it's great to be there as much as we can, even if we live abroad, if it's possible at all. because we all have commitments, we all have our families and our own lives, so it's, you know, whatever we can do. uh, but I suppose like my baseline is like I always think about my most important values, which is my family. So I adjusted the whole my life to that. And because what we don't want to have is regrets of one day someday. I think that's the bottom line, you know, that we could have, I should have, you know, I really needed that 1 week holiday for going to Mexico, or, you know, if it's possibly our last year we can be, because this is the mind thing, you know. When I was leaving Slovakia, every time I remember waving to my dad till very last moment, till I seen like this much of him, you know.
Yeah.
And
What were you thinking? Is this the last time I'm seeing him? Yeah, same.
well, you know, and we don't even live in Australia or America. Imagine people who are watching us from US, you know, they come like once a year. It's even worse. And but what I always, you know, I was always keeping a brave face and all that. And every time my dad was getting worse and worse and worse, and it was almost like new person I needed to adjust every time I came home. And um and then, but what, you know, then I completely fall apart, you know, in tears, like whole bus was watching me because I was weeping because I needed to take a bus to the airport. And but you know, my thought was, how many times am I going to see him again? How many days do I still have? Really? And he knew it, I knew it, nobody talked about it. So another important thing, and it's not even on here, I'm just saying that from the top of my head, is, you know, having that balance between, you know, it's obvious what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's hard to talk about death. It's very hard. But actually, me talking to my dad about it, not just pretending it's not happening, about his disease, about, you know, how is he feeling, is he scared of dying, what will happen after, where he wants to be buried, all these things, very sensitive, hugely emotional. I had years and years I didn't even, I was denying his disease. I didn't want to know. And you know, now is the time to talk about it. And actually, you know, it takes a massive courage to do that, and obviously you need to find the right right time to do this for both of you. But I think it's a great sense of relief to be able to, you know, sit down and talk about it, not just for you, like doing it for my dad. I was doing it for my dad. For me, it was killing me. Trust me, guys. It was like, it was most horrible conversation of my life. But I done it for him, because for him, he's thinking about it every day. You know, that's the God's honest truth. What will happen after he's gone? You know, what he wants. I cannot imagine that. Do you understand? But I done it for him, for his peace of mind, for him not having anything to be unspoken. Because I don't know the God's honest truth. I don't know. Hopefully we have another couple of years at least. Yes, but I don't know. I might wake up next day. I don't know, because when
That you never know.
you never know. In fact, what it was the most shocking for me is when I watched my dad sleeping the other day. I can't even say this. Sorry, guys, I can't say it. He basically looked like, you know, people look when they are already dead. And that was the most shocking thing for me, you know. It was so in my face. But at the same time, guys, let's use it as a wake-up call. You know, that's my main message from maybe all the broadcastings I ever done on here, that if I want to give something away for those of you who are watching, let's use this time, because we still have time. We still are privileged. We still have time, and we can still use it wisely.
Okay, I've got one comment here from Alenka. She says, I feel with both of you, Lucy and Mati, I'm sending love. I lost my mom. One day she was on the phone with me, and second day she was gone.
Yeah.
Well done.
Like I was saying, my daughter's
My daughter was 6 months old and I could not even be on her funeral. One way it is good for me because I still think and feel as she has just gone shopping and she will come back. Yeah.
thank
That,
God.
you know, and that is life, isn't it?
That
One
is.
one people just gone like that, and then one people just so sacrificing so long.
Alenka, I just want to share with you. Thank you so much for sharing it. I want to give you something specific, okay? Sometimes we think, for those of you whose parents are not here and you feel like it's something unspoken or unsaid, please don't feel like you cannot do anything anymore, okay? I know those people are gone. We cannot physically hug them, unfortunately. But what I want to say to you, Alenka, if you have a chance, and even today, do it for yourself and spiritually for your mom, because I believe people are not really gone. They are part of who we are. They are in our genes. We see them in our children, and really, like, we hear, they're always with us, because when we are in situations in life, we hear their voice in our head.
Mm.
Please don't do this, whether it's positive or negative. Let's not talk about that one, what they left for us, both probably. But Alenka, what I want to suggest to you, write your mom a letter. Yeah, I mean, obviously you can not send to heaven, where your mom is, but write your mom a letter and write everything what is in your heart, everything what you feel that it has been unsaid. Express your love, your gratitude. Give her peace about where you are. I know you've been on a huge journey and you've done so well in life, and you're still growing, you're still doing well. So do this for yourself, do this for your mom and for your kids as well, because making a peace for yourself is going to have impact on your kids as well.
Thank you for sharing. So next one you put it on, it's take it easy, take it slowly.
Take
Take
it
it
slowly.
slowly,
It's
like
very
day by day, or what do you mean by that?
day by day, day by day, moment by moment. Sometimes, this is a very demanding time of our life, and it's emotionally very demanding. It can be very draining to be with our parents, because our parents are going with their own emotions. They don't know how to cope. They of just take it slowly, take it easy, be easy with yourself, and just slow down. This process actually makes me slow down, because it makes me realize what is really important and what I can ditch. So be gentle with yourself, I would say, because this is you are going through a lot without realizing it, because in these situations we pull together, we do whatever is necessary, we go to doctors, we deal with finances, we deal with adrenaline thing, but at the same time keep on pacing yourself, because it often happens when and maybe some of you are even caring about your parents, like you are actually being a carer for your parents, so that can be also like physically demanding as well, mentally, psychologically, it is like you are losing your parent day by day in front of your eyes. So be very gentle with yourself, be compassionate with yourself, and please, very important thing, I was talking actually to one of my friends who I'm not going to name, but she's got her mom with dementia living in Prague, and we had this amazing conversation after my last Dharma yoga class in London. And if she's watching me, I emphasize this one more time: please don't be harsh on yourselves. Don't feel guilty for not being perfect, perfect daughter, perfect son, because we, same as our parents, are doing the best we can in terms of our patience, in terms of our expression of love, and sometimes I know I can be guilty of not spending enough time with them, or not being patient enough, or there are certain things that are annoying, and I don't know, smelly or whatever the, it is. It's just life is different, yeah, that different. And
Yeah.
we feel a lot of frustration inside internally. We are in this turmoil. So sometimes we can snap, we can lose the patience, we can even shout. And then, at least I hate myself for it. And I need to learn, yes, apologize and say that I sorry I didn't hear it, just clear it up. But at the same time, being also kind to myself and forgive myself straight away, immediately, not feeling like a bad daughter because I'm not a perfect daughter. So that's what I want to also say. It's challenging.
Yeah.
We've got another comment here. Matthew, do you want to read it from Bella?
From Bibiana, if you feel something is wrong, pack a bag and go. I hesitated for work and all thinking we will done. Oh, I would
I,
rather to read it maybe on my iPad.
what is happening, honey? Can you not read it all? Shall I read it?
You go for it, and I'll be reading next one from my iPad because I have to scroll it.
Okay, so Bibiana is saying, if you feel something is wrong, pack a bag and go. I cannot agree with you more, Bibiana. Thank you for this. She's saying, I hesitated for work and all thinking we will see each other in May holiday as we had everything booked, but it is not to be. I am overcome by sadness, but beating myself up for not going and being there for kids and more kids in school isn't helping. He knew I loved him. Now I'm grieving myself with you guys. I spoke to Dad on the phone. Next day driving to work, I found myself talking to him in a car. Bibi, thank you for sharing, and our heart goes out to you. I totally agree. So, let's not hesitate. Work can wait. Money will always be there somehow, some way, unless it's really like dramatic. Um, and if you weren't able to be there, I know my husband wasn't able to be there, like really, really wasn't able to be there when his dad was passing, and it's still these days very emotional for him because his dad was calling his name um, as he was dying, and that's probably the most hardest thing for my dad, for my husband now, to make a peace with that. But he knew that he done the right thing, and it was right thing for the family, and there was his brother who was there with him. So situation varies from case to case, but if we
Yeah.
can, yes, I mean, if the work is the only thing that is stopping us, I wouldn't hesitate at all. Let's go further, shall we, Mati? Would you like to read next one?
So another one, you said expect nothing emotionally and expect the anger. So I
Yeah.
could add something to that. I really liked what you said, that every time now I come home, I have to adjust to a new person because they look differently, they act differently, she reacts differently, and it's like, whoa, who is this person?
Yeah.
So it's like how you said, we need to learn to to learn and find out who is this new person in front of us,
Yes.
because they do changing a lot. And how you said before, we need to find out as well a different way talking to them, because they're not the same parents as they used to be. And I've maybe finding that hard now, that kind of warmth, like what's going on now.
Yeah. This is one of the toughest parts for me as well, because as a children, we need to switch the roles. It's almost like we were children up till now, or at least on some kind of form. When we came home, there was a hot meal, or there was a hug waiting for us, or I need to keep it together. You got a very red nose, by the way.
I know, sorry.
I'm joking, darling, but I'm just trying to keep it up. But you know uh yeah, so we used to be children, There was always the place to come. It was a home, and it was a soothing, you know, when everything else went tits up in our life. You came home and you found the chicken soup, you know, that thing that someone is there waiting for you.
Mm.
And when you lose it, when we lose that, we start feeling a little bit like,
To take that responsibility, or what do you mean?
to take a responsibility is one thing, but also we start feeling like, because deep inside we still always feel like children with our parents, even when they are like 80 years old, we feel like they're children. And it's about taking responsibility, but it's much more, it's adjusting to a new role of being, it's almost like being a parent for your parents without making them feel it. Because, you know, like I know my dad, like even though he cannot do a lot of things guys anymore, which is awful, he used to be so active, but he can barely go out of the house now. And you know, for me to find the balance between helping him and being there for him physically, emotionally, with what he needs, but at the same time not make him feel like he's completely useless. Do you understand?
Mm.
Like on
Mm.
a practical level as well, is to um because he often, and that's connected with anger. My dad never used to, you know, be angry or very chilled out, calm person, but he's got a more anger now, and what triggers him is this sense of being useless. I think our parents, especially in, you know, parents always are used to help do something, especially I'm from Slovakia, Czech Republic. They cannot come for holidays and sit down and do nothing. And my parents always used to like wash the windows or cook the meal or, you know, scrape the floor or whatever, you
Yeah.
know, even just help, you know. And when they cannot do it, they feel frustrated, because all the people, they want to be useful, they want to still be useful, and they feel frustrated they cannot be. They still want to feel that they matter, that they are not invisible, but often they are, especially in Western world, in our society, you know, they are just a burden, and often they are being felt, you know, they are being treated like they are being burden. So, you know, how do we, and it's a fine line, how do we as a children give them that space where they can still feel they they matter, and what they feel matters, even when it's frustrating. You know, my dad told me something 4 times today, and I said, Dad, you know, and where do you find that patience to say, Dad, you always told me, remember? And he said, I don't remember. Because then dementia thing is starting as well, which is mental health problems, you know.
Yeah.
So it's very, very complex issue. And so that's why I'm saying, you know, expect the anger and be okay with it. It's nothing personal, nothing to do with us. It's just they're really like they're dealing the best way they can. And sometimes, you know, it comes out because actually what they're dealing with, my God, is that, you know, they're facing death. We really need to kind of put ourselves in their shoes to be able to be more loving and being the kind of people we want to be there for them. Because I always have at the back of my mind, like, my God, you know, he used to change my nappies, and, you know, being there for my whole life, this is my turn now. So I was always asking my dad, you know, how do I give you back what you gave me? And he said, no, you can't. You give it to your own children. Now I have a little chance. A little bit. And I don't think I'm doing such a great job, guys. I really don't think I'm doing a great job. I'm still far too busy. I still want to spend more time with him. But, you know,
I
we are
think
the best we
no,
can.
but it's such a big step to go home,
Mm,
to be there.
yeah. And for me, it was no brainer, you know.
Yeah.
So,
So separate the emotional diffusion from the I can't even say cognitive dysfunction. Is that what you touched on something? just now?
Let's go just one. Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh, this one is quite good. Ask their advice.
That's right. Yeah. So this is exactly connected to what I was saying. They, you know, all the people, I feel like they really have this strong urge to pass their knowledge, to pass. Like when I was living in Africa, elderly people been very valued. You know, like the chief of the tribe was always the almost like the oldest person there. Um, now it's not always the case in our society that oldest person is the wisest. We definitely don't treat them that way. But nevertheless, in every culture, older people got one thing in common, that they want what they have. They've got nothing to chase anymore. You know, there is no money to chase. There is not much time. So, you know, how do you use your time is to leave
Yeah,
a legacy behind you. You know, all the people, they really have their values straight in terms of like, how do I use my time the most effectively? How do I enjoy life within the things that I still can do in my life? Who, you know, I totally see, like when my dad see me, he's like, you know, like a little puppy, you know, can I spend, you know, 5 more minutes with you? But he, at the same time, he doesn't want to, you know, take my space too much. So it really is about balance. Asking that advice is one of the best gifts of sharing that advice, or about them sharing about their life. You know, how was it when you've been, I don't know, 17, or, you know, what was your life like? What was it? You know, if you have opportunity, guys, talk to your parents, ask them how was, you know, how did they experience war? Maybe grandparents, that will be in our case. But, you know, my dad was after war child. You know, how was it for him? And a lot of things that you will talk to them, it will give you a lot of information about why you are the way you are. You know, what's your root? What's
energy. The energy can shift as well because they're starting to think about good stuff.
That's
You
right.
know.
You know, encourage them to cherish their memories, to think, not just think about the dead, what is ahead of them, because that can be scary place, but actually encourage them to talk about, you know, what did they enjoy, what are the times when they've been happiest in their lives, what was it like when you've been born, you know, what are the funny memories. Yes, like I've done a documentary film about my father. I can put it in comments later on. It's one of the best things I ever done together with my brother, for his 70th birthday, to cherish his life. To, you know, for him, we got whole family together, and it is the, you know, it's only amateur movie. It's not like professional, but it is so moving and so touching, and we all cried and laughed and cried and laughed. There were so many emotions packed in that room, and my dad is still alive. That's the best part, that we could have done that with him being present, with all of us being present, far before his state deteriorated to what it is today, when he doesn't really want to be seen.
Mm.
So if you have a chance, you don't have to do a documentary film, but do
No,
a
but I'm
video
so happy.
or something. If
I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm just so happy you said it because when I'm speaking to her every single day, I'm just asking her how is she at this moment, and of course she's not. You know, she feels shit and stuff. So it's so good now. I can actually
yes,
know
exactly,
what to.
brilliant. Please take it on and
Mm.
talk about things that are going to bring her to a happy place, because it's all up here. And maybe it will take a while. It's about starting new conversations with our parents. Maybe conversations we never even had. Maybe conversation we never even dared to have. Many of us still didn't say I love you to our parents. It's time. So not just rely on the fact that, oh, you know, they know. The best gift we can really give to our parents is to allow them to feel our love, and to let them know we are okay and our life is good and we will be okay. We will be more than okay. Just really let them know and be happy in life. I think that's the biggest gift we can give to our parents, to show them, not just pretend, but really, really show them that they done a good job bringing us up. And some of you guys might be thinking that some of you might be thinking that, yeah, but I don't have a good relationship with my mom. I just totally don't get along with her. And some of you might be thinking, yeah, but my dad was a complete asshole. I don't want to know about who he is. Now I know that. Hold on, guys. I'm just going to bring Matka back in. So yeah, good. So I just want to say there are different relationships, and I appreciate. I wasn't actually close to my mom until I started being much closer to my mom when I moved away from Slovakia, actually. And then when I was 27, I really started clearing up the stuff. Now we have a beautiful, intimate relationship with my mom, and it's possible for everyone. Mati, are you okay?
Yeah. I just had a phone call.
Oh, okay. Guys, we've got still a lot to give you, so I'm going to, I don't know whether to skim through it, or I mean, you can, as I said, you can get this in a newsletter where you get all the stuff. Let's go just for a couple of more. I would say it's very important to if your parents are getting a healthcare, whether it's a hospital or they are in a old people's home, build relationship with the carers. It's very, very important. Love your healthcare providers and build a relationship with them, and like personal relationship with them. That's what I did, like to make sure that they know that this is not a number, this is my dad. And it's like, so they relate to my dad as it's their own mother, or their own mom. And I go with my intuition as well. I don't give my dad to the hands of someone who I would feel that is impatient, and he just sees him as a old, wrinkly, shaky old man. That I take my dad away and I say thank you. It didn't actually happen. We had a couple of grumpy people, but it's not when dad was with me. When dad was with me, everybody loves him. But when my dad was on his own, so he had a couple of experiences like that.
I've got one. Right, do you want
to go
on? Shall I do the comments?
Do the comments. Let's do the comments.
So we got one from Alenka. When I was living with my mom, I used to write little note every morning when I was going to work that I love her and how I miss her. That's nice. That's
really nice. Little things that matters. Guys, I bought a t-shirt to my dad. I don't know what it says. It's so funny. I seen it today. I went shopping and I bought a t-shirt just to cheer her up, because sometimes it can be doom and gloom. So we need to lift up the spirits. So I will post the t-shirt in the comments as well. And it says, I can't remember, but it's like bright green t-shirt. It really fits our kitchen. And it says that it is like a little cartoon with a man on a bicycle, and says in Slovak it's so much funnier, but it says something like, I don't have energy to go up the hill, I'm scared to go down the hill, and it's really boring to go straight. But it sounds really like sorry guys, it sounds really funny in Slovak. I must post it.
Yes, please.
So and he was like, so, and I gave it to my dad, and bless him, because one of the things is the melatonin in the brain that is making him like really worried about everything. So he got this t-shirt, and I was like, Dad, did you read it? Because he can see. And he said, yeah, but it's not very true. Like, I even have a problem to go straight, and it's like, Dad, it's a joke. It's like, do you see the fun in it, you know? And this is the hard thing as well. Like before, my dad, like the kind of jokes he used to do to us, like, my God, it was embarrassing, you know? And now, you know, this is the change, you know, that I'm experiencing. Like I bought a beautiful palm, I don't know if you can see it there, and it's like, and it's this negativity is like, oh yeah, but it might die because I don't know if you will be able to look after it well, or, you know, can you look after it? I was like, Dad, it's beautiful palm, I look after it, can you just say it's nice palm, please? Or, you know, sometimes like, yeah, but it's going to be raining tomorrow, and it drives you crazy sometimes, you know. It's like, oh, can we just like, you know, enjoy something, please? Mm. It is challenging, guys, it is challenging.
The life is challenge. Can we just quickly chat on the sibling thing? Let me go back to comments, because that's very nice.
Yeah.
So you put join forces with your siblings.
Yes.
Prepare for siblings insanity. So lucky enough, I've got a brother who is at home. So, you know, I know he's there and look after my mum. But exactly what you're saying, in situations like this, if we are siblings, you know, the family gets together, isn't it?
Well, I say extreme situations in a family like this, it's got a capacity to either to bring the worst and the best from people. It's like one of these disaster movies when the world is just about to end, you know. And I actually had one of my clients this morning, and mom's got a surgery on Saturday, and one of their siblings is like kicking off, and mom is very concerned, and it's not good for her to have this kind of concern and worries and being, you know, before the surgery. And he was asking me, and he was saying, yeah, I just need your advice, like before our call on Saturday, because mom's got a surgery on Saturday. So I was leaving him a message on the WhatsApp. I've got one man, guys, one, maybe two men now. So it's not just ladies I'm coaching, but predominantly ladies. Anyway, but I left him a message, and you know, empowering him in this situation, and it was exactly about that, like join the forces with your siblings, because this is a time to pull together. This is not a time for us to be selfish, to navel glaze, to, you know, be concerned about our own little problems. I mean, what the hell, you know, the problems will always be there. You know, I'm going through a lot myself at the moment, Jesus Christ, you know. But it really is about balance. I'm not saying your problems are not important or my problems are not important, but I'm just saying there are times when our parents been always there for us, and we need to like kind of park our own shit and bring us together, and make sure the situation we are dealing with is going to bring us closer as a family. So, you know, what I'm doing now, I'm like, you know, talking to my brother a lot, to my sister a lot, to my other brother, you know, like we are really pulling together. So my sister and I, we are total alliance in terms of looking after our mom, and my youngest brother and I, we are in total partnership with looking after my dad. And the reason for that is that I'm the only one from the second marriage. So, you know, I've got like half brothers and half sister. And this is very beautiful, you know. It is easier, obviously,